My dear students, let me welcome you to this educational video on probability distributions. Probability distributions has got its roots in the concept of understanding frequency distributions. Basically, means to say that in order to understand the probability distributions, one needs to have a thorough understanding of frequency distributions. And if you say frequency distribution, there are two different kinds. One is called as observed frequency distribution, and the next is theoretical distributions. And in order to have a fair understanding of probability distributions, one must have a thorough understanding of what is called as frequency distributions. Now, to start with the frequency distributions, we say that frequency distributions are basically kind of observed kind of events. The observed frequency distributions, you can have the witnesses on your day-to-day life, any kind of happening, okay, any kind of occurrences, and it's the pattern in which they are going to happen or they are occurred, okay, can be called as your frequency distributions. Frequency basically, it's all about the rate at which it is happening, the frequency at which it is reporting, the frequency at it is basically at what rate it is being reported like. And if you say the distribution, it's basically the pattern uh, of its distribution, how exactly the variations are being observed. If you say the occurrences, the rate at which they're happening, as well as the pattern through which they're following, okay, if these things are combined together, okay, we can have these frequency distributions. And let me have one example to make you understand what exactly meant by frequency distribution. And today we're all in a very kind of psychological state of fear with regard to the COVID-19 kind of thing and the lockdown situations. And I have constructed my own example to understand or to make you to understand what do you mean by the observed frequency series. And if you say observed frequency series, and I'm going to have my understanding with regard to the COVID-19 tested positive, the COVID-19 tested positive patients, and the number of samples tested. If you say the COVID-19 tested positives, you can have your 0 positive, 1 positive, 2 positive, 3 positives, and 4 positives, 5 positives, like that, whatever it may be. And against that, the samples tested. Against that, the sample tested can be written like this. Okay, if you say this COVID-19 and the COVID-19 as the variable to be studied, and it may be no positive cases on any particular day, and maybe 1 positive case, maybe 2 positive case, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. And these positive cases are derived, observed, and a kind of samples tested, and this is samples tested you can take. And in the first case, I have tested 250 samples, among which 0 are 0 we have the positive cases. And the second case, I have tested 300, out of which 1 is tested positive. And second one, I can take 75, out of which 2 are tested positive. Likewise, I have this observation. A kind of data I have observed, a kind of data I have gathered, and this data gives me the observed frequency series. It's just observation recorded on day-to-day basis, on some periodic intervals, whatever it may be. Here I'm not mentioning the time interval for the simplicity of the problem. And if you say 150, it is your 3, and next is 275, and next is 395. If you look at the sample data here, I have the COVID-19 tested positive results here, 0 positive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the same time, the number of samples tested. And if you look at this, there's a pattern through which they're happening. It's a kind of particular phenomena being recorded at particular kind of the trend. This particular trend is going to have is going to give us a fair understanding of what is called as your frequency series or frequency distribution. Now look at these variables, and these variables are very much specific and we call them as discrete variables. And therefore, this series is called as discrete frequency distribution. Any of the theoretical distributions which are developed based on this discrete kind of series, we call them as discrete frequency series or discrete frequency distributions. If the probabilities are associated with that, if the estimations are associated with that kind of no frequency series, okay, there are those things are going to be a theoretical distributions. And basically we have three different types of such distributions, okay, two among which are discrete in nature and one is continuous in nature, that is called as normal distribution. We are going to discuss all the three different distributions in this class. Okay, now okay, if you say that the samples here, now I can have my estimations done. This is your positive patients and the sample studied. Now this is what is my observation. Based on this recorded data, I can have my expectations, I can have my estimations, and these estimations, okay, could be based on any of the probability laws, any of the conceptual understanding of your probability and its distributions, and among which, okay, we have the first one is called as binomial series. Next one is called as Poisson series. Next one is called as normal distribution. Now in this class, I am going to focus exclusively on, okay, binomial distributions. Now if you say, what do you mean by this binomial distributions? Now if you say binomial series or binomial distributions, okay, we need to understand the nomenclature of this binomial distribution. If you say bi means two, nominal means any two subjects. If you say bi, I said this by probability distributions, I said there are three different kinds. One is called as binomial, another is called as Poisson, and another is called as your normal series. Okay, let me explain one by one. Now if you say binomial, bi means two. Bi means two. These two could be any subjects, any variable, any factors, whatever that you can understand. And basically to start with, let me take these two as my events of success and the events of failure. There are two events basically. I am going to have my fair understanding of binomial distributions in terms of either the success of an event or the failure of an event. The success are basically denoted by the symbol called as P and the failures are denoted by the letter Q. You will say the P, okay, it is the convention, it is I can say it is my symbolic representation of occurring of an event. And if we say failure, it is called as non-occurrences. And success is my occurrences, something is happening, that's it. Okay, occurring. And this is my non-occurring. Something is happening and here something is not happening. Now I need to have, okay, a kind of expectations, a kind of estimations to be fit according to this binomial distribution. The roots of understanding binomial distribution, okay, lies in the fair understanding of the formula, what is called as a plus b to the power of 2. If you have the fair understanding of the formula a plus b to the power of 2, then it is very much easy for anyone, even for a non-statistics man, even for anyone who is cleared their matriculation like kind of thing, okay, they can have the fair understanding of binomial distribution. Let me explain, let me derive, okay, what exactly in the binomial series, and after that I'll try to explain its properties, its features, its limitations, its advantages, and even its applications too. Now if we say binomial series, I said the roots of binomial distribution, the understanding of binomial distributions lies in the core concept of what is called as this a plus b to the power of 2. If you say a plus b to the power of 2, I have this formula what is called as a square plus 2ab plus b square. This is known to everyone. It's a very, very common phenomenon. Anybody can explain this. But I am not interested at this power 2. My interest is something else. My interest is it could be a plus b to the power of 3 Okay, it could be a plus b to the power of 4, even it could be a plus b to the power of n. A plus b to the power of n can also be explained by using the concept of what is called as binomial expansion. Okay, it's binomial expansion. To understand this binomial expansion, okay, let me tell you about what do you mean this binomial expansion first. If you know the binomial expansion, then it is easy for anybody to understand what is called as your binomial distributions. Now, if you say binomial expansion, generally, okay, we have this a plus b to the power of n. Now, this can be written as nc 0, a to the power of 0, b to the power of n minus 1 plus nc1, a to the power of 1, b to the power of n minus 1 plus nc2, a to the power of 2, b to the power of n minus 2 plus dash dash dash. If we continue, this is going to be ncn, a to the power of n, b to the power of n minus n. This is what is your binomial expansion. Now, okay, we say this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are, okay, we are random variables. Your n can take any of the values starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 up till n. Look at those variations. Now, what I do is, I replace A with P and B with Q. I'm transforming this particular equation to the format of our binomial distribution as suggested by James Edward Bernoulli. Now, if you say P plus Q to the power of n, this is going to be NC0, P to the power of 0, Q to the power of n minus 0 plus NC1, P to the power of 1, Q to the power of n minus 1 plus NC2, P to the power of 2, Q to the power of n minus 2 plus dash dash. You extend this. Now plus NCR, P to the power of R, Q to the power of n minus R plus, you extend this, R is going to be n now. Now NCN, P to the power of n, Q to the power of n minus n. This is what is my binomial expansion. Now here n can be 0, n can be 2, n can be 1, n can be any finite number. If I have any n as any finite number, I can have my binomial expansion. Sorry, I can have my binomial distribution density function, which is just called as my PMF or PDF. It is called as probability density function. Therefore, the PDF or PMF of binomial distribution function is generally denoted by the symbol P of x is equal to NCX, P to the power of x, Q to the power of n minus x. This is what exactly I require. This is what exactly I am focusing on today. P of x. Probability of expecting any random variable x. X could be 0, 1, 2, 3, dash dash n. Now you say, and now n is finite and n is either greater than or equal to 0. This is what exactly algebraic notation is. Now, if you say P of x is equal to NCX, P power x to the power of n minus x. Now, this is my binomial distribution density function. This is the formula we are going to use and we are going to apply to this to understand the expectations or to calculate the expectations of a variable based on the binomial pattern of its occurrences. Now let me go back to my previous example where I said I have certain cases of COVID-19 tested positive and even their frequencies are listed. Now I want to fit my binomial distributions to that. Now you say the COVID-19 tested positive, I can consider this as my X. Now the samples tested, that is called as frequency. Now you say the COVID-19 tested positives are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Samples tested are 250. Now 300. This is 75. Next 150. 275. Next 395. Now the next message is very, very common. I can say that. Now this is going to have the calculation of its product. Very simple. Now if you say f and x multiply. Okay. Now if I take summation of fx. Now if you say fx and summation of fx, I can call this as 0 here. 300 into 1 is 300. And now this is 150, 75 2s are. Again 150 into 3, that is 450. Next 275 and 4, 1100, 1100 and 1975. You can wonder why these calculations are showing here. It means to say that by making use of this calculation, I can derive the mean of my entire frequency distribution. The average of frequency distributions can be calculated. Based on that, I can have my P, I can have my Q, and then I can establish the frequency expectations or theoretical distribution. Theoretical expectations can be calculated. Now, if we say Fx, now sigma f is there. The sigma f is 1450. We can verify. Now, I have this x bar. This is equal to sigma fx divided by sigma f is calculated. Very common calculations for all of you. Sigma fx is 3975. Now this is going to be 3975 divided by sigma f is 1450. Now this is what is called as my mean. Now this is going to be your 2.74. This is x bar 2.74. The x bar can also be called as NP. Now I'll come to the properties of binomial distribution. 2.74 is 2.74 is NP. Now this is the mean. Now what is N? N is your random variables, which is the last one, the highest value that is going to attain in this is called as your N, that is your 5 and 5p. This is equal to 2.74. Now p is equal to 2.74 divided by 5, and we have this the value called as 0.55. Now automatically q will be 1 minus 0.55. This is equal to 0.45. Correct? Now if you say 0.55 and 0.455, these are all the occurrences. Means to say that there's a 55% chance that a particular patient or a particular individual is going to be affected by the COVID-19 and going to be positive. And at the same time, 0.45 is a chance that it's going to be a negative one. And based on this, I have to have my theoretical understanding of what is called as binomial distributions. Now, coming to the properties of binomial distributions, to fit the binomial distributions, one must have a fair understanding of what is called the properties. Now, the properties clearly says that the mean of a binomial distribution is given by NP. Now, usually N is called as the sample size, or maybe the highest value of your random variable that is going to attain. Now NP, this is called to mean the property. I can say the property number 1. The property number 2, I can say that even your I can say variance. Next standard deviation, all these things are going to be our properties. Now variance is going to be square root of NPQ. Now ST is equal to NP or sorry NPQ. Okay. Now let me calculate your theoretical probability distributions based on the value of x. I said I have my P of x. This is equal to NCx P to the power of x Q to the power of n minus x. Now I have my values here x 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now this particular probability mass function or density function is in accordance with n is equal to maximum 5 and x is ranging from 0 to 5 and p is equal to 0.55 and q is equal to 0.45. Now if you say the frequency expectations, this is also called as theoretical expectations, is called as T of x. Now the T of x is given by n into P of x. Now P of x we have this NCx into P of x into Q to the power of n minus x. Let me show one calculation. Now if you say T of x when x is equal to 0 and let me complete this calculation. Now I am going for my P of x is equal to 0. This is equal to, now the T of x is equal to 0 is going to be n into P of x is equal to 0. At P of x is equal to 0, the frequency is expected. Okay, are going to be n into P of x is equal to 0. Now this is equal to, the value of n is sigma f. That is 1450. You can check it back. Now n is 1490, 1450. Now this is 1450. Now P of x, use this formula. NCx P power x Q power n minus x. Now this is 1450. NCx, here n is 5. C 0. P is 0.45 to the power of 0. 0.5 to the power of 5 minus 0. This is fine. Now if you simplify this, okay, the value is going to be 0.0184. And the same thing to be multiplied by your 1450. The probabilities are simplified and now this is going to be 1450 multiplied by 0.018. Now similarly, I can go for x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2 and x is equal to 3 and 4. Let me show all the calculations one by one. We have done with P of x is equal to 0. One is, we have done with this 0. Next P of x is equal to 1. Okay, now at the second variable x as 1. Now I can say T of x is equal to 1. This is equal to n into P of x is equal to 1. Now this is equal to 1450. P of x is equal to 1 is again, this is 5c1 0.45 to the power of 1, 0.5 to the power of, you can say 5 to the power of 5 minus 1 is 4. Now this is going to be 1450 multiplied with your probability value, that is 0.1127. You can check the calculations. Now T of x is equal to 2. Again this is going to be the same formula, that is n is 1450. P of x is equal to 2, that is 5c2 0.45 to the power of 2, 0.55 to the power of 5 minus 2 is 3. Now this is going to be 1450 multiplied with this 5CT, and that particular probability value is 0.2756. Similarly, I can have all the calculations completed. Now here what exactly I have for 3, 4 and 5. P of x is equal to 3. This is equal to 1450 multiplied with 0.3369. Now 0.3369 is as it is here. This is your P of x. P of x is equal to 3. This is my P of x is equal to 3 is 5C3 0.45 to the power of 3, 0.55 to the power of 5 minus 3. Okay, it's as simple as that. As the previous case itself, we can follow. You can refer the previous case. Now P of x is equal to 4. Now this is equal to 1450 multiplied by your 0.2058. This is again, I can say this is as simple as your 5C4 0.45 to the power of 4, 0.55 to the power of 5 minus 4 is 1. Now, this is as per your binomial distribution, that is probability density function. Now, exactly the similar lines, if I continue the similar lines, I can have my P of x is equal to 5 too. I can have my P of x is equal to 5, that is 0.55 to the power of 5, 0.545 to the power of 5 minus 5, and then multiply with your 1450, that is P of x is equal to 5. This is equal to, not this x is equal to 5, I can have my T of x is equal to 5. This is equal to 1450 multiplied with the probability value I have here is 0.05. Now this is as simple as here 5C5, P is 0.45 to the power of 5, now 0.55 to the power of 0. And if I compile all these values, I can get my theoretical expectations. This is what exactly we have the last table. Now, if we say binomial distribution and its expectations, we call it as fitting of binomial distribution. Now, the fitting is going to happen, the fitting of BD. Meanwhile, I can say that this particular example is very much helpful, very much, I can say, fetch you some marks, means that depends on your case, it could be a 15 marks problem for your examination or maybe 20 marks. Either 50 marks or 20 marks. Usually you will get this problem in your section A, maybe question number 4, maybe question number 5. It depends on the case, the pattern of your question paper. It's going to be either for 15 marks or for 20 marks. If they directly say that fit the binomial distribution for the following data or the following frequency series. Now, that is just to grab your attention. This is very much important for your examination too. If you learn this particular fitting of distributions in the binomial series, that is going to be helpful in getting some good marks, maybe for either for 50 or 20 marks. That much I can say. Practice this again and when you are free, and see that you get equipped to solve this problem in the examination. Now, you say x0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now, I have my frequency observed. We call it as FO. Now, we have F expected. FO and FE. FO is frequency observed, FE is frequency expected, and F observed we have the data already, 250 and 300, now 75, 150, 275 and then 395. Now if I go for my expectations, this is going to be 1450. I'm not doing any multiplication for you, you can check it. This is 0.0184. The probability value for P of x is equal to 0. Again, this is going to be 1450 multiplied with 0.1127. Next, it's going to be 1450 again into 0.2756. Next, 1450 multiplied with I can say 3369. All these values are already derived is there. Okay, in your the previous work note. Now again this is 1450 multiplied with 0.2058. Now 1450 multiplied with 0.050. Okay, this is what my p of x values derived. Now ultimately how to check? No, this is again usually or maybe in almost all the cases in general, sigma fo will be equal to sigma fe. Only the pattern changes, and if this is 1450 and the expectation is sum should also be is equal to 1450, and you can check it. Okay, this is I'm leaving you for your exercise, and do the multiplication, check the values, take the total, and then you can see that the fitting is done. And this is what exactly the binomial distribution and its properties. Three important properties are there. One is mean, and then SD, and then the variance. And the fitting is going to happen based on the theoretical expectations, where the theoretical expectations are going to have this particular relation. I can say T of x is equal to, I can say T of x is equal to n into P of x. This is the very simple formula that you need to follow. Now you can ask me again, if you say what is P of x? If you say P of x, the P of x is nothing but your binomial distribution mass density function. This is your NCX, P to the power of x, Q to the power of n minus x. Now if you say what is n and what is P and what is Q? If you say n, this is the sample size, sometimes it may be sample size, or the highest value of the x that is going to attain. And if you say x, this can be 0, this can be 1, this can be 2 until n. And n is here, n is finite always. I'm just going back, I'm giving the summary of what is FD here. Now if you say n is finite and it is positive. N is finite and it is positive. Now if you know P and Q, P is known and Q is also known. If n is given, the sample size or the highest value of the random variable that is going to be attained now based on the structure of the problem. Now n is equal to finite and it is positive, and x is going to attain any value between 0 and n. Now P is known and Q is known. If these properties are satisfied, then I can have my binomial distribution fitted well, and any kind of discrete probability estimations can be calculated based on my P of x, and based on P of x, the expectations can also be calculated, and this is going to have a very great impact on understanding the risk associated with any of the event, and also the trend in which they are changing, the trend in which they're going to have expectations that is going to associate with your variable. And that's it for today. Thank you very much. And this is about the learning of binomial distribution. Thank you very much.